Sure. So as we head here into the second half, Peter, we're going to play a fun little game, and you get to join this fun game that Rutledge and myself have played for the NFL. But we're going to play it for Premier League managers, and this game is called Must, Bust, or Trust. And as obviously we always trust Sergio Kun Aguero because, I mean, this guy's the ageless wonder. Age is finer than a sweet actually a dry Argentine wine. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back and forth here real quick and ask which manager in the Premier League must you have? Which manager in the Premier League is going to be the one to take you to the Premier League title? That's your must. Your trust would be which manager would you have to avoid relegation. If you're in a relegation battle, who would you want to have? And who's your bust? Who's your bust manager where you just say, not there yet? So must, bust, or trust, Prem League Manager Edition. And friend of the show, Daniel Mogg, joining us all the way from Seattle. So very excited. We've got multiple time zones going here this afternoon. But Peter, who's your must manager if you had one pick to win the Prem League title this year?
I think you'd have to go Pep. I think you've got to go Pep Guardiola. I think he's been there. He's done it in multiple countries. I think you also do it with a sort of a style about you as well. You're not just giving yourself a great chance to win the thing. With him, I think you do it with playing some really beautiful football. So Pep. I think Pep's for me at the moment the obvious choice. What about yourself?
I go Pep as well. I think because not only for all the reasons that you listed, but he is such a tactician, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's like a cursed genius that he's like Beethoven, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is ever good enough, and there could be one person in the stands, or it could be 100,000 people in the stands. Pep wants to win 9-0 because that's how you play the game. Versus a Jurgen Klopp who seems to want to ride that emotional roller coaster a little bit more. Not to say he's not a tactician, but is going to ride that emotional wave. So that's we're on the same page as it comes to must. I have a feeling that we're going to be a little different when it comes to trust here. Who are you trusting if you're in a relegation battle to save you?
I've got to be honest. From what I've seen recently over the last few years, and going for the manager that's closest, I think you'd have to go Sean Dyche at Burnley. I think what he does on a limited budget with the players he has, the squad he has, it's the exact opposite of Pep Guardiola football. It's not the prettiest, but it's effective. If you want to stay in the Premier League, I think he's your man.
There you go. Yeah, he is definitely one to avoid relegation. If I'm going to trust one manager to keep us up, it's going to be Big Sam. All your dice. That's who I'm going with on the trust side. I think just the amount of time that he's spent in the Premier League. He's not only had successes, but he's had failures. So he knows how to win. He has unfortunately not had some success, but he has had success. So he can be that steady hand when things seem to go wrong and things like that. So I'm going to go Sam as the man that I trust.
I do think as in terms of one to watch this for the rest of the Premier League season. I think if he gets out of it this season, it will be probably his best recovery as a manager. Mm-hmm. It's a tough ask this year to get West Brom out of that drop zone, definitely.
Got it. Yeah, so that is he's got a challenge ahead of him, that's for sure.
Yes,
and finally, as we round out here, must, bust, and trust here on Friends Stream Sports. Who's busting? Who's going to be your bust manager?
See, I had to think about this, and I think if we're saying that you're getting relegated anyway, and to watch some to watch some good foot. I think I'd go Marcelo Bielsa. From what I've seen this season, it's a bit of a left field choice, I think, but he's got Leeds playing some really good football, and if it's to say, if you're going down anyway, and it's sort of, well, it doesn't, it's sort of, you're gone regardless. At least he'd have you watching some good football with some players that are maybe not the best in the league. And I think it'd be a decent ride with him potentially. What about yourself?
You know, the manager that I would say is the one that it just kind of guaranteed bust here to make sure we're not coming back and not staying up. I'm going Scott Parker at Fulham.
Interesting.
Just young guy. I think he's going to get there. You know, but and as a former Fulham defender, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he did spend some time there at Fulham. You know, at the Cottage. I think he's not. You know, he's not the big time. You know, he's not the Frank Lampard kind of guy, but you know, he is a. Almost scored there, trying to keep the clean sheet while coming off with this hot point. Yeah, I think he just needs some time, right? Didn't have the funds, didn't have the infrastructure that guys like Frank Lampard had, and he could very well be a solid Premier League manager, solid European manager, but not the guy in England this year to stay up in the Premier League.
Yeah. No, I do think that's fair. I think again, I think, like you say, I think he is hampered a bit in terms of funds. I think he will take them close, but yeah, having to think about it, I think you're absolutely right. He's probably not keeping them up. I certainly back Sam, Big Sam over Scott Parker.
Big
Definitely.
Sam over Scott Parker for sure. And that pulls us to the end of our first game here. It's a 2-0 win, Man City over Tottenham, which is going to be happening live on Saturday.